have a friend who used to live next door to me. We hung out a lot, but her family was messed up. Her mom was an addict, hooked on heroin. That's pretty bad, but Teresa made it worse because of bad decisions. Way worse.
I can remember probably in first grade noticing that my mother wasn't coming home at night and noticing my father leaving late hours of the night looking for my mom and coming home just baffled because he didn't know where my mom was and she was smoking crack. I mean, just watching my mother not come home at night and going to school without my hair done or going to school with dirty clothes on because my mother wasn't there to get me dressed because she was out getting high all night.
She was lost, scared, and depressed. Teresa was just looking for somebody to love her, something like a new family.
My mother wasn't there, my father wasn't very supportive. What I was searching for was somewhere to fit in and somewhere to belong. I just started staying out all night. I started dating older men. I started smoking weed and drinking, and I dropped out of school at 12, and I started selling dope at 12 or 13. I joined a gang at 13, so that was pretty much where I got all my love from.
When Teresa was in the gang, she was stealing cars, robbing stores, and selling drugs. One day, she got caught shoplifting and got arrested. She was locked up in juvie. You would think that would have sent her a signal that her life was heading the wrong direction.
I just sat around all day and I felt sad, I felt hopeless, and I started having those feelings about wanting to change my life, you know, because I knew I didn't want to keep doing that over and over. But after I would get out, I'd get out and do the same thing. I mean, my intentions were good. I would always tell myself I'm not gonna get into any more trouble, I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna do right, and I would get out and hang around the same people and the same things would happen.
Her life was flat out horrible, horrible, and it was about to get worse.
My mother died from a crack overdose right around that time. And that had a huge effect on me. I started to get high on crack, on the same thing that she got high on, just to see what she was feeling and why she would leave me when I was young, why she would put that before me and why she would put that before her life. But I didn't think I was gonna get hooked on it. I started doing some of the same things that she did when she was smoking crack, and I started to prostitute, I started to steal from my family. I did a lot of stuff to get high, things that went against my morals and my values.
Her mama was dead, and her addiction was taking over her life. Reality was so messed up for Teresa, she turned into a different person.
I became homeless. I was living on the streets. I was living in cars, and that's how I lived for about a year. Just living on the streets and prostituting and stealing and doing what I had to do to get high. I can remember one day sitting on the corner, and I had been up for probably 5 days with no sleep, and I was trying to get a date, and I was just so wore out and so tired that wouldn't nobody even pick me up because I looked such a mess. And I can just remember thinking that I was gonna die just like my mother.
Teresa thought a change of scenery would change her life, so she took a bus and moved to a new town. She didn't realize her addiction moved right along with her.
Initially, I met some guy, and he was showing me where to get high at, and he would take me to these guys that would pay for sex so I could get money. So to speak, he was kind of like a temporary pimp, I guess. And he would take me to different guys' house so I can make money and get us high.
The cycle of addiction was so bad that even Teresa knew she needed help. She hit her lowest point.
And I completed treatment, and I got back out, and I was introduced to Narcotics Anonymous in that treatment center. I was ready to try something different because obviously drinking didn't work, smoking marijuana didn't work, moving to different places didn't work. So I was willing to try something different that I hadn't tried at that point because I was so sick of repeating the same pattern over and over. At that point, I realized that I have to do something different. I can't keep moving, I can't keep trying, you know, stuff that's proven that it doesn't work.
After Teresa broke her cycle of addiction and got clean, she started to understand. She realized that when someone is addicted, it's not just themselves that get hurt. Addiction is kind of like a tornado. It cuts a path of destruction through everything and everyone you know.
I mean, I hurt a lot of people in my addiction. I mean, I stole from my father. I broke in his house and took everything out of his house. You know, I broke promises to my family, to my sister, to my nieces. I broke promises to myself. I mean, I was prostituting. I mean, so obviously I didn't care about anything, much less myself.
I'm glad she's doing good now. Muy bien. She was hooked a long time. She's been in and out of rehab many times, and she still has to fight her addiction every day.